Hey, it's Dawn Hendricks, and welcome back to the FM Talent Blueprint. I want to start this episode with a question. When was the last time you ended your workday feeling energized instead of exhausted? Like when you logged off for the day, you thought, today felt really good. Or you said to yourself, my work today really mattered. Well, if it's been a minute or even, years, then this episode is for you. Today, we're not talking about burnout or hiring freezes or workplace chaos or even government shutdown. We want to talk about something that we really don't talk enough about, and that's joy at work. And yes, that exists. And yes, we can experience it. And here's why it matters right now. So many professionals have mastered the art of surviving work. But in doing so, they've forgotten what it feels like to really enjoy your work. So we've normalized anxiety, we've normalized exhaustion, we've normalized, all right, I'm just going to push through. But here's what I know for sure. Long-term success does not come from burnout. It comes from alignment. And energy is not a luxury, it's a career strategy. So I'll share with you a story about a friend of mine named Marissa. And for months, Marissa was running on autopilot. She was logging in, she was answering emails, she was attending meetings, leaving the meetings, not remembering even what was discussed in the meeting. And one day she had this moment of clarity. She was like, I don't really feel unhappy, but I don't really feel anything. And that scared her more than anything because that was what we'll call her reset moment. It wasn't a breakdown. It was just a moment of honesty. And I really think that this is where your joy can begin. It doesn't have to be a raise. It doesn't have to be a new job. It starts with an awareness, a decision to feel again, instead of just performing and kind of moving through the motions. So if you want your joy back, you don't have to overhaul your life. You just need to look at 3 levers. And so the first lever is mindset. And so start by asking yourself, what do I still care about here? And you don't have to start with the big question of, do I love my job? No, start smaller. Ask yourself, what is one thing I can do here that actually matters to me? And in asking that question, you're trying to find one spark. And that one spark is really enough to start to reignite your joy. The second lever that I want you to pull is rhythm. So asking yourself, is my day draining me or is it supporting me? Because joy isn't always about the work. It can also be about the pace. And so sometimes you can make these micro changes that can have a macro effect. And so a few things you may want to consider throughout your day is walk while thinking. So instead of just sitting in silence, I do this all the time. I know people think I'm crazy, but it really helps me to get the juices flowing. Also, taking little digital breaks, 10-minute breaks. We are in front of these computers all day long. And so kind of giving yourself a moment to reset is really important to transforming your pace. And then one other thing that I do is protecting my mornings. No meetings, early in the morning. I use that as my focus time. I block out my calendar where I'm able to do some of the more high value work. And I do it like this so that I don't have a lot of distractions, and it allows me to get into a flow so that I can get a lot more done. I am of the mindset that we don't need more time. We just need more renewal so that you can find, that rhythm of what works for you. The next thing I'm going to say, or the next lever, is design. And the question I want you to ask yourself is, am I working in a way that aligns with my strengths? So many people are burnt out, not because they're doing too much, but because they're doing the wrong kinds of work. And according to Marcus Buckingham's research, you don't have to find a job you love. You have to find the love in the job that you do. And he used an example of housekeepers. And I love that he did that because, housekeepers' work can be considered mundane. And what he found, that the housekeepers that were the best at their job, they were that way because they were able to find joy in wowing their guests. They took great pride in folding towels into swans or leaving chocolates on pillows. And they were able to find purpose in delighting and pleasing and satisfying and serving others. And so here's the real kicker. This statistic actually blew me away. You only need to find 20% of love for the job you do each day. That's it. And if you can get to that 20% or above, this will be an amazing prescription for your life. If you want to figure out who you are, then pay attention to what you love. And when you find it, then start leaning into those activities. I think we've all experienced those moments where you are so engaged, so excited that time speeds up. You even forget to check the clock. Every day, find those activities that invigorate you and try to make sure that 20% of your day is spent doing them. And just for context, 20% of an 8-hour day is only an hour and a half. That's all it takes for you to start loving your work again. So as a closing thought, joy is not a bonus. It's a requirement for sustainable life. So ask yourself, what's the one thing I can do today that brings me joy at work? And then do it. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the FM Talent Blueprint. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend. And also, I need you all to subscribe to the FM Talent Blueprint. I'd also love for you to drop me a message on LinkedIn. I want to hear about your joy journey. How are you igniting and fueling your life with joy right now? So until next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and keep building your blueprint.